Hello and welcome to the 7th video in Spiral 4. So today we are looking at products of monomials and polynomials. So we're heading back into some algebra. So I can demonstrate the distributive law when we're multiplying monomials and polynomials. So let's talk about what each of those are. So first of all, off to the side here, monomials. Monomials have one term. So for example, 2x, or it could be 3x squared. A polynomial, it has more than one term. So for example, 2x squared plus x, it could be x squared plus x plus 1. So it has more than one term. So there's your terminology, quick review with that. So we want to do a little bit of work with that. So this is a review. We did distributive law way back. I believe it was Spiral 1. So brackets mean multiplication. So we are going to take this -5, and we are going to multiply everyone by -5. We want to make them -5 times bigger. So -5 times -6 is positive 30, x to the fourth. So we now have 30x to the fourths. -5 times 3 is -15x cubed. -5 times -5 is 25x. And -5 times 7 is -35. So there's your distributive law. That's from Spiral 1. Multiplying monomials, that was from the last spiral, Spiral 3. So you multiply your numbers together. So 5 times -6 is -30. X squared, so we have x times x, and then x to the fourth, there's 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means we have x multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, we're just adding the exponent, okay? We're just adding the exponent. So x squared times x to the fourth becomes x to the sixth. Now we're going to mix these. All right, we're putting them together into one process. So we just got to be careful. So it's basically taking a monomial and multiplying it by that monomial, and then multiplying it by that monomial, and then that monomial, and then that monomial. All right, so we do it one at a time. -5 times 6, well, that's 30. X cubed times x to the fourth. So that means it'll be x to the seventh. We add the exponents. Next, -5 times 3 is -15. X cubed and x cubed means we'll have x to the sixth. -5 times -5 is 25. We have x cubed, and remember, if there's no exponent, we assume to be a 1. So that's x to the fourth, and then minus 35x cubed. So there is our answer when we are distributing a monomial into a polynomial. All right, no tricks, that's all there is to that. So a couple of examples. So it says expand and then simplify. So expand first, always. So for the first one, we're going to take the 4x and we're going to multiply it in. So this will become 4. Now those x's, they don't have exponents, so we assume them to be 1s. So we get 4x squared, and then 4x times -3. So then we multiply the 4x to the -3, so 4 times -3 is -12. Now the challenge here, the x goes along with it because it had no one to multiply with. And that's what we're going to stick with at this point. There's another reason. I don't want to get into it. It just causes you a little bit more confusion because we haven't really talked about exponents and exponent laws. So 4 times 3 is 12, and x had no one to pair up or multiply with, so it just tags along. All right? Looking at a polynomial. So polynomial at 5x squared is going to multiply everyone inside. So that's nothing new, but the difference is now we're multiplying monomials with different exponents. So the number in front of that x squared term, if there's no number, we assume it to be a 1. So it becomes 5x, and we add the exponents, so 5x to the fourth plus 5 times 2, it's 10x cubed. And then 5 times negative 4, negative 20. And the x squared has no one to multiply with, all alone. So we just let them tag along and hang out with the negative 20 at the end. All right. Now, this one here, we're going to have a bit of simplification. So if you look at the ones we just completed, x squared and x, not like terms. So you're done. You have x to the 4th, x cubed, x squared. So this is going way back to spiral 1. Those are not like terms. You cannot combine them together. They are separate. Now, this one may change. So let's do our distributive law first. Always get rid of the brackets first. So 2x times x. Now again, no exponents, so we assume to be 1. Add them together. We have x squared. 2x times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. No one to multiply the x with, so we let them tag along. Here's a tricky one. The negative 7x is going to get multiplied in. Now I'll get rid of our brackets. So we'll have, again, no exponents, so you assume to be a 1. Negative 7x cubed. Negative 7 times 8. That's negative 64, 40. I was going to say 47, but it's 56. And again, x's have 1s, so there'll be x squared. Negative 7 times negative 2 is a positive, positive 14. Better get that right. And the x has no one to multiply with, so we'll let them tag along and hang out with the 14. Now, make a quick check. Are there any like terms? So take a second, look through. I notice I have an x squared term. I have an x squared term. I have an x term. I have an x term. Those guys can be put together. So 2x squared minus 56. So that'll give me negative 54 x squared. So that takes care of that one and that one. My x's 10 plus 14. So plus 24x. Takes care of that. And the 7x cubed, he had no friends. So he just tags along. He had no one to add up with or combine with. Now we have no like terms. If you check them, these are not like terms. You cannot put them together. That is where it stops. So if you have any questions or concerns with that one, it'd be a good time to stop and ask the teacher questions before you move on. All right. When you're ready here, we'll flip over. So here are some, I call them applications, but this is a stretch. This is how EQAO will use them. So for example, find the area of the rectangle. So there are expressions, the length. So we know that area is length times width. So 5x multiplied by, and then putting it in brackets, 4x minus 1. So we want you to simplify, get rid of the brackets. So we're going to multiply the 5x in. Then we have no brackets. So that leaves us with 20x squared. And 5 times negative 1 is negative 5x. So there is our area of that particular rectangle. The last one. This is a composite shape. All right, this is like unit or spiral 1. So we are going to have area total will equal area 1, the big area, minus the little area, minus area 2. So length times width, so the big guy is 5x times 4x minus 1. Subtract the inside of the small one, so it is 2x times 2x plus 3. So we go through and we use our distributive law. So multiplying that in, we get 20x squared minus 5x. The second one, we're going to take the negative 2x and multiply it in. So we end up with negative 4x squared minus 6x. And now we can gather up or group together some like terms. So we have x squareds. So 20 take away 4 is 16x squared. And then we have a 5x and a negative 6x term. So they're both negative. Be careful. Negative 5 take away 6 is negative 11x. So there is the area of the green part of that rectangle in terms of algebra. Okay, so it's tricky because we did numbers in the first spiral. Now we're doing it with letters or with variables. So it looks a little bit different, but the process is the exact same. So if you've had any questions with any of the steps here, because it's important for tomorrow's lesson or the next lesson that you understand this, if you have any questions, please stop it, talk, or ask your teacher for help before you move on. We'll see you in the next video. Good job.